BlazBlue Entropy Effect X is out now on both console and PC, and long story short, this game is incredible. Now, I've played many hours of BlazBlue Entropy Effect, and I've seen it grow from the alpha version up to this pinnacle version, which is X. If you're a fan of action roguelike games like Dead Cells and Astral Ascent, you'll feel right at home here, but this isn't just a run-of-the-mill action roguelite. This is a spectacle fighter, hero builder, whatever the hell you can call. I started as a zero, and now I'm an overpowered fighting god. The devs made multiple systems for you to make the best fighting game character you can, using the best characters from the BlazBlue franchise, and yes, I said these are the best characters. BlazBlue Entropy Effect X is a standalone title for console. They will experience that X storyline called DBS Laboratory when they first install the game. For PC Steam players, it's an update to the original Entropy Effect. You all will have the option to select the DBS Lab story after you complete the Sky City storyline of the original game. A lot of BlazBlue fans are looking forward to seeing this storyline, but for those of you who just like a good old action roguelite with a little bit of lore spiced into it, you'll be pretty happy too. But let me continue hyping you up on the gameplay. We need to dive into the sea of possibility and battle across a weird space of data and memories using avatars that your fellow doctors have salvaged from that data. You choose your character avatar, then you start up your first normal run of the game. Early on, your gameplay will feel relatively simple. You fight with basic attacks, maybe even you're mashing one button and then using a skill every now and then, which has an MP cost, until all the monsters on the screen are dead, and then you proceed into the next stage. As soon as your first room clear, the true gameplay systems begin to emerge. Let me introduce you to potential. This is that build your hero, build your fighting game character, all that stuff I said earlier. These can enhance an existing attack or a skill that you already have, or it might just be a straight up brand new button for your kid. Each individual potential has its own perks that either augment it or give it further actions and combos. And no, it isn't just instead of 2 punches, I punch 3 times. I'm talking about straight up adding new attacks, adding a teleport, or screen-wide devastation through ultimate abilities. By the end of each and every run you play, your character will have evolved into something better using just one of the systems that you've been offered. But wait, there's more. You can push your character even further with something called tactics. These are like your classic roguelike draft for elemental enhancements. You have electricity, fire, toxin, light, blade, ice, umbra, and they all give different benefits, and some of which have synergies in their own kit. And trust me, there are a lot of enhancements to choose from. Like for just umbra, you have Shadow Spike, Shadow Chain, Black Hole, Dash Shadow, and Summon Tentacle, all with their own power-ups and synergies with other tactics. There are even duo tactics for combining specific ones together. Since every character is unique, you'll want to push for tactics that actually support your playstyle and those potentials picked up. If you'd like a guide on best tactics to use for each character, let me know down in the comments. So here's an example of me starting up a run as Naoto on extreme difficulty. This is extreme level 44 with all 5 mutations added. Probably a little bit much for someone who might be new to the game. This is from a run we recorded over at the Twitch stream at twitch.tv/Veedotme. Make sure you're following to see runs like this happen live. I know for a fact that Naoto has good dodges, so I'm going to pair him with either S or Jin. Both have effects based on dodging. We're also bringing in Bullet, who gives you heated up state, which gives you bonus damage on all attacks that have knockback effects. I can tell you that Naoto's really good at tossing enemies across the screen. Naoto does start off with some pretty cool combos by himself, but with the first potential we're going to take, we're getting a universal enhancement that allows your attacks to follow up with 2 additional attacks, just by doing the combo as normal. Naoto is a character that's really good at single gigantic hits maybe 3 hits of a combo at most. So we're using a tactic called Fire Spirit. Rather than buffing your attack, these spirits will constantly attack automatically. Before we reach the first boss, we get probably the most important part of Naoto's kit, which is Blood Repulsor. This uses SP instead of MP. We enter the full drive state and enhance all of our attack actions. So by the time we reach the first boss, this is Extreme Sweeper. We have a bunch of new buttons that we've added in, mostly around our install and around those follow-up attacks. We have air stall, we have big hits. All we have to do is dodge because we don't have a lot of built-in iframes. But of course, there is a learning curve, just like with every character. If we played a lot of one single character, this is like you're playing a brand new game. But you can see by the time we get to non-fire, I have all of these potentials that I've added down at the bottom. For my tactics over on the bottom right, we have a bunch of Fire Spirit, a bunch of Bren, we have Holy Mark, we have Chain Lightning, we have a lot of things that we've added in just far. Fights like this do look pretty cool, but this is only the tip of the iceberg. Remember, this is extreme difficulty, so it's only going to get more intense on the bosses that are further ahead. Now, as I've said, I have a lot of hours in this game already. As of typing up this script, there are 16 playable characters, and each one of them is actually fun to play. Let me give you a rundown of which characters you can expect and the DLC characters. First off, we have Kokonoe. She is a scientist that floods the battlefield with rockets. Hakumen is some kind of cyber samurai with a very powerful parry attack. He can parry just about anything in the game. Mai Natsume fires tornadoes alongside multiple spirit attacks that can even launch herself all over the screen. Hibiki is a ninja that can summon clones, throw stars, and outplay yourself if you're not careful. Ragna, I think, is Mr. BlazBlue himself. He drains his own HP to deal damage and hopefully heal it back. Noel Vermilion is a gunslinger with both long-range and close-range combos, as well as a screen-wide laser beam. Lambda 11 summons blades from portals and has one of the coolest juggles in the whole game. S fuels all her combos by hitting enemies with these crescent blades. Probably my favorite character in the game so far. Shin Kisaragi has a freezing sword, which sounds pretty simple, but he has some of the tightest fighting game mechanics in the game. Taokaka is a cat. I have no idea if she's supposed to be a joke character or not, but as far as I know, she's the only character with an infinite. There are also 2 crossover characters from other games. One of them is Icy, which I believe is from a mobile game. That game is chock full of dashing and slashing, so they gave her that in Entropy Effect X as well. Then there is the prisoner from Dead Cells. If you've ever played Dead Cells before, you wouldn't believe how much stuff they gave this guy in Entropy Effect. Finally, we have the DLC characters, which are for purchase. First is Rachel, who I believe is a vampire, and fitting enough, one of her attacks is basically the Konami code. Hazama, I think, is a serial killer or something. Definitely one of the flashiest characters based on his combos. Bullet is a grappler, but she doesn't just grapple enemies. She can teleport to them with anime-style follow-ups. And lastly is the newest DLC character, Naoto. He has powered up states that causes his attacks to hit the whole screen, and most of these are charged by holding down the button. We haven't really had a roguelite game with direct ties to another franchise. They have a full supply of new characters they could release from BlazBlue, plus crossovers with other action games. I hope we can see some more character drops so long as y'all keep enjoying the game. So even with all your potentials and tactics, this is a roguelike game after all. You're gonna die, or, maybe win. Either way, you can save that character to be used towards either A, new game modes such as Boss Rush, or, and most importantly, B, which is inheriting this character into a different one for your next run. When you do this, you get that character's passive, such as the slowdown effect on dodge from Jin, and 2 tactics that you choose to keep from that older run. I have Evo types saved. Well, I guess they call them avatars now. But I have tons saved with different tactics, so I usually try to start each run with something I know that character can use pretty well. For example, the prisoner from Dead Cells has a lot of options to heal himself. especially if he took damage recently. If he inherits Ragna with Blood Drain, you can eat your own HP in order to do more damage, and the prisoner will just heal it all back. Lambda has a lot of ranged attacks, so when you inherit Noelle, she gets Noelle's bonus damage at far range. See, it isn't just potentials that you're thinking about. We're stacking tactics and other characters' passives to try to get a win at the end of the day. Now let's say you are actually winning runs. It's time to get out of normal mode difficulty and hop into entropy mode, or advanced if you're playing that original version of Entropy Effect. The difficulty rating goes up to 100 and starts to introduce not only harder fights, but new content as well as better rewards from clearing all the content. But in exchange for turning all this on, I get access to Covenant, Black Market, the trial system, and even new combat areas and a final boss at the end of the run. I also am getting more potentials, more refresh chances on basically everything, and tons more stuff to help me beat the run. My scores go up, my profile gets money, and my dopamine levels go up too. Then after all of that, if you manage to win Entropy mode, you can unlock Extreme mode, which is the ultimate run of Entropy Effect X. First off, there are harder enemies as you'd expect, but not just an enemy with a bit more HP, there are legit mini-bosses that now spawn with a brand new kind of reward called Mind Unleashed. These are game-changing buffs that actually change fundamental parts of your character's kit and make for some giga-busted builds. The game even tries to offer you more tactics, more potentials, so you can technically make a more busted character than ever before. But in reality, you're gonna need it because Extreme mode has a 6th stage. Here you fight more mini-bosses, mostly the ones you haven't seen thus far. But once you're able to get through those, a giant behemoth is summoned in front of you. This thing's about the size of the entire screen. And this will be your first test on how good of a busted hero you've made. To be honest, this is the furthest that I've gotten as of making this script. I can't wait to show you all what the boss is that's after this. For you BlazBlue fans, she's one of your characters turned into a boss, so good luck out there. I really hope this becomes the gold standard for action roguelikes in the future. I don't want a game that's just on autopilot. As a content creator, I'm trying to show off my ability to cook a build and also style on a boss. If you think you like what you see, leave a like on the video and check out some of the cool runs of BlazBlue I've done thus far. I have a run on every single character, so take a look at whichever one you're interested in. But enough of me gushing about this game, let's go do a couple runs.